First of all, thank you so much for taking a moment to speak with me. I'm Paul Thorson from Waypoint. We are a TimeXtender partner, and we're so happy to have both of you here with us today. Heine, in a nutshell, some of these viewers that are watching this video blog may not know who TimeXtender is, and what exactly is the Discovery Hub, if this is my first time hearing about it?
Well, the Discovery Hub is democratizing access to all your corporate data. So it's the middle layer that will make sure that all employees, regardless of skill level, have access to governed, secure data for self-service.
And when is a company ready or ripe for TimeXtender? What would you say are their main business pains that make them take that dive?
I would say that to have a real pain, if you have been taking on the journey with Qlik and self-service, at some point you will see that business users run into data quality issues. You have issues with performance on data sources when you have direct access. So when you start to see those kind of pains, this is when you need to look into a hub technology.
And earlier I heard you talking about machine learning, and this is a big topic right now. How does TimeXtender currently incorporate this technology into their products?
Well, currently we mostly do it on the load side of data against the data sources, so that we actually use machine learning to constantly optimize the speed on which you can load data into the hub. But in general, we investigate it in all areas of the software, as we believe that anything that can be automated needs to be automated.
Mm-hmm. And Donald, what are your thoughts on machine learning as it in respects to companies adopting this now?
So almost all the companies I'm looking at are looking at machine learning in one form or another. I always say that every company nowadays is a data company. If you're a data company, you're an analytics company. If you're an analytics company, you're going to be an advanced analytics company. So it's something that people either are looking at right now or they know that's going to be coming very soon. And there's a couple of ways in which people are looking at machine learning, either as a technology in its own right, which will improve their business, or in the kind of TimeXtender case, a system that will help them operationally by improving their internal operations, whether those are IT operations or internal commercial operations. So this is a great example of a company using machine learning to improve operations. And I think that's, you can find that's a very common use case in the future. But TimeXtender are quite far ahead in their current implementation of it.
And Donald, from your talks with attendees or partners, what are some of the biggest challenges that you're hearing right now in 2017?
I think there's no doubt that the biggest challenge everybody's facing right now is actually moving to cloud. Cloud is rapidly adopting technology. People are either moving to cloud from an on-premises solution. They have on-premises, and they're being asked often by the financial teams. The CFOs are saying, why are we not on cloud? We'd like to pay for things as subscription rather than as license. Let's see if we can move to those technologies. Or they're already adopting technologies which are in the cloud. And very often these are self-service technologies like Dropbox, things like that. So people are finding those kind of dual pressures. They're finding they're either moving to the cloud or increasingly they're adopting the cloud. So I'm hearing a lot about that. And now that at the first day of the event, TimeXtender announced their cloud integration, which is a great feature for them because that, again, keeps them ahead of the curve in terms of helping customers make that transition. Mm-hmm. So they're already addressing one of the key pains that people are talking about right here at the event.
Mm-hmm. And this morning I heard during general session, Qlik was talking about associative big data indexing.
Right.
Let's say I'm a small to mid-sized business. What does that mean to me, and why do I need to think about incorporating that into what I do?
Well, that's something Qlik has been working on for quite a long time. So I left Qlik maybe about 6 months ago, and they'd already started on this project of doing the data indexing. And the critical reason is this: is that everybody now has a large amount of data or can have a large amount of data. You might think of the demo they gave of billions of rows of data. Well, what's that got to do with us? Well, they also did a demo of IoT, Internet of Things, and that was a single sensor for a farm in North America. But a typical farm is going to have many sensors, not just have one. It could have 100 sensors. A typical manufacturing line might have several hundred sensors, each one delivering data points every second or many times a second. So you can rapidly, even as a relatively small company, either in retail, where you're doing barcoding and often geospatial information, or you're in manufacturing and you're using IoT to automate to monitor your production lines, you can end up with very, very large volumes of data very quickly today. Or you're just a commercial business and you're starting to mine social networks, and you're pulling in data from the tweet stream and Facebook streams and Instagram streams. You've now got billions of rows of data, whether you like it or not, whether you even thought of that as being your business model. And so being able to mine that and being able to kind of get intelligence over that is absolutely critical. And then, of course, you've got the next problem of, okay, well, I've got all these billions of rows of data, now how do I start making sense of it? And that's when you have to start structuring it into some sort of form which is probably greatly reduced for your needs, but gives you the ability to use your traditional tools over the top, which is where Qlik and TimeXtender can work together to make that possible.
And this question is for the both of you. So moving forward, what are you forecasting? What's going to be the next big disruptor that you're seeing with analytics?
Well, we've already mentioned cloud, we've already mentioned machine learning, we've already mentioned big data, we've already mentioned Internet of Things. I think that's actually quite a lot of disruptors in there alone. But let me tell you what I think is the big disruptor, which is still continuing. And it comes down to a very simple problem, which is disrupting all of IT and all of business, which is business users are in the driving seat. They have better technology at home than they do in the office, and as a result, they're the ones actually driving the technology decisions. It's a genuinely self-service world, and that is more disruptive than almost anything else.
And Heine, so Waypoint being a partner of TimeXtender, and what I've learned from meeting you and your company is that you are spread through partners, correct? Like,
yeah.
You don't have a direct sales, like you actually utilize partners. How has that helped TimeXtender scale in the United States?
I think it's a very important strategy for us to be 100% partner. We generally don't believe in competing with the people we want to go to market with. And for us, it is, we have seen so great results on recruiting channel, on recruiting partners like Waypoint, and building the trust. Because having a partnership for us is not about that we develop software and you sell it and that's it. It's about having a win-win situation, a strong relationship where we actually work together in both educating the market around these different disruptions, but also working hand in hand in generating the leads. So it's a lot more trust. I mean, I always tell my team it's all about trust. End of day, people do business with people. We can have all the technology we want, but if there's no chemistry and trust in the people relationship, it will go nowhere.
And lastly, so alongside with Discovery Hub, are there any new innovations, new things coming up with TimeXtender in the near future that people might want to know about or learn about? Or
I think the announcement we had this week that we are now moving on the first couple of chapters on our cloud, being able to support customers in a hybrid setup so that they can move to the cloud at the speed of their decision, not because that they get forced by some technology. And later this year we will extend our cloud support into the big data area as well as part of our official cloud story. So we will be able to give it seamlessly if you want it on-prem, on SQL Server, if you want it in the cloud but still relational, or if you want it in the cloud as a big data implementation, and then of course can use the indexing from Qlik. But for us, it's about removing the technical discussion and say whatever is the right decision, the right underlying platform for you as a customer, that is what we are going to support.